Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Minecraft Guide. In today's episode, we're going to head into the Nether so we can get one of the Soulslike Bosses in there, and then we're going to prepare to move through the Soulslike mod. So the Soulslike mod we started in the last episode, and we're going to finish it off today, culminating in a fight with the Day Prowler and the Night Stalker. So the Day Prowler and the Night Stalker are essentially the two final bosses in the Soulslike mod pack. So we're going to take out all the remaining bosses, and in order to do so, we're also going to have to fight the Wither, and we're going to explore the Nether a little bit. So if you want to know how it looks to take out some of the most advanced bosses in the Fantasy Minecraft mod pack, keep watching and check out the rest of the episode. The first thing we're going to need to do in order to go to the Nether is build a Nether porthole. So check out this time lapse, and I'll see you on the other side. Boss we're looking for is the Decaying King, and he's usually found inside the Nether in his own little kind of fortress area, but we can use the Moonstone Compass to get to him like we did with the old champion. So the Nether should be, the first part of the episode. We'll put that right at the beginning, and then we'll move on into taking a look at the Souls-like weapons and what you can do with Lord Souls, and just kind of finally discuss the rest of this Souls-like mod. That's the addition to this mod pack. So our Nether porthole, which we haven't lit yet, is now right over here. Oops, looks like I'm missing a block right here, but kind of wanted, like this kind of lead up to it, make you feel like you're really going into a portal. We just cut this right out of the side, so that's going to be some terraforming we're going to need to do. I'll probably do that off camera. If people are interested in seeing terraforming projects in a time-lapse form, you can let me know, and I'll do that from now on, but I don't know that that would be interesting for anybody. But yeah, so we've got our little Nether porthole here, and we'll go get some flint and steel, light it up, and see what we have in the Nether. Before we do that, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time to get some food. Off camera, I got myself a cleric villager, and I've been using the rotten flesh that our zombie spawners generate to trade with him to get some emeralds. So we'll see if I can't find one of my farmers that we can level up, get a source of golden carrots at some point. But for now, just going to get a little bit of bread and head off into the Nether. And light her up. So I think my plan is, for this porthole area, we're going to decorate it up a little bit. But I just want probably some soul torches, or maybe some of the torches from the Mine Cells mod pack. I'm really trying to stick with this kind of deep slate and like bluish kind of block theme, so like the blue night in here. So if I can get, unfortunately the soul torches are no longer blue in this mod pack, so I'm thinking the purple would go well with the Nether though. But we'll see. I might also use the shroom lights that you find in the Nether, because those are now blue, and put them in the pillars. That's kind of what I did in my little creative test world for this, but we'll figure that out. Until then, let's go into the Nether. Okay, here we are, and it looks like we immediately spawned into a structure, which Oh dear. Where are you coming from? I need a bow. So one thing I always do when spawning into the Nether is immediately just waypoint my Nether portal. This way you never get lost coming back to it. Wow. We're really just getting lucky in this world. The Decaying King, I was just running around exploring this fortress, and here he is. One thing about the Nether to keep in mind, though, is that there's a lot of height and depth to it, so although it says we're right on top of the Decaying King, he could be up or down. One thing about the Nether generation in this mod pack is that it's much different than what you're used to in vanilla Minecraft. So this mod pack has a couple of structures at mods and the better Nether mod. So in general, you're going to find many different biomes. You can find trees in here, ores in here. I believe there's even coal in here. You could pretty much... There's actually even an origin which starts in the Nether. So you can go into the Nether and for the most part do everything you need to do. Progress through your metals, skill or tech tree, if you will, going from iron to diamond gear, that type of thing. And you can do it all in the Nether. So it's, you know, much more vast of a space. If you enjoy being in here, you can kind of discover a lot more going on. There's fortresses and bastions are just one of many structures that you're going to discover. And, you know, as we saw, we popped right into a fortress, but there's a ton of things to explore in here. Nether cities, different types of, like, remnants of old piglin structures. I think there's piglin villages. It's really just a hugely updated and improved Nether. Alright, so here's the Decaying King's little fortress area. I'm sure it has some kind of a name to it, but it's pretty distinctive, so you can always kind of notice it when you see it. One thing to know about the Decaying King, I don't imagine he's going to give us a ton of trouble, but he is largely fire-based, so you do get a fire resistance potion when you first go into the Nether. So we might as well just drink that, and we'll head down. Let's see what you got, my boy. Yeah. Lava. So you'll see he drops 3 items. He drops his sword, the Darkened Blade. He drops a Withered Demon Heart, and he drops a Lord Soul. The Darkened Blade is another pretty cool item. A lot of these items on a Necromancer I'm not going to use because I need the plus to frost power from my weapon. But if you're playing like a Berserker or something like that, you know, or even if you just don't care about that extra frost power and you're not trying to maximize your frost spell damage, a lot of the weapons that these Soulslike bosses drop are super cool. So I do want to get these things while I'm down here, because I imagine they're going to become pretty prevalent around my base. Okay, well, we're back in our base, and we have now taken out most of the easy to acquire, I guess, if you will, Soulslike bosses. So the Old Champion and his Frenzied Shade, the Decaying King, and the Returning Knight are all ones that kind of spawn in the world without you having to do too much more work. The remaining bosses here, the Monarch of Chaos, the Fallen Icon, and the Day Stalker and Night Prowler. So they require crafting some things and doing some things, and they're a little bit harder to take out. The first one which we can target is the Fallen Icon. You just need the Essence of Eventide, which should have dropped when you killed, I believe it was maybe the Frenzied Shade or the Returning Knight, but either way, when you killed one of these other bosses, you should have got this, and you need to summon him at a Old Moon altar. So the trick to EMI, by the way, if you ever are looking for things that come from a specific mod, is you just use the @ key, and then you start typing that mod's name. So the Old Moon altar, we need some obsidian, some moonstone, and these iron skulls. And the iron skulls were just crafted by bones, iron, and lost souls. And if you ran out of lost souls, or you didn't get some from when you were fighting the Returning Knight guy, you can smelt either soul sand or I believe it's soul sand. Let's find out. Yeah, soul sand. And so in doing that, you can make this Old Moon altar, and this is what you use to summon or resummon some of these bosses that you've been fighting. It does get consumed upon use, so if you want to be able to farm them for some reason or another, you would just need to make a bunch of them. So you might wonder, why? Why am I killing these bosses? What's the point? Essentially, you can obtain some pretty cool gear, and it's pretty unique. So most of the bosses drop their weapons, which are pretty unique and have cool abilities. So for example, Nightfall, which is dropped by the Returning Knight, has not only what you see here, like the soul proficiency and the arcane spell power, but if you hold shift, it has a ton of different things that you can do with it. Very similar to the abilities that he uses when you're fighting him. And you can also get the Darkened Blade, which is the one from the guy we just fought. Similar to the other guy, this has some of the abilities that he uses. It gives you the ability to use. If you watch my 101 video for the Rogue class, the Moonlight Swords is something that you can craft from this mod pack, and they give you a ranged, if any of you are familiar with the Moonlight from the Soulslike games, it gives you this range, beam of light that comes out of your swords when you're swinging them. In addition to the weapons that you can find the bosses dropping, they drop the Lord Souls, and the Lord Souls can be used to craft just a ton of cool stuff. The Arcane Plate and the Infused Arcane Plate are some armor, options, but really, just look at all these weapons. I'm not going to go through all of them one by one, but there's a ton of different weapons that you can craft with the Lord Souls from this mod pack. Specifically myself, I'm going to go for Frostmourne. The problem with Frostmourne is going to be, it looks like if I'm looking at these Lord Souls, it means I'm going to need both the Day and the Night Stalker. So I'm going to need to eventually work my way up towards killing the Day Stalker and the Night Prowler. So I need the Chaos Orb, which means I have to kill the Monarch of Chaos first, and then throw that into the air, and then kill these two bosses. And then I believe they only drop their Lord Soul if they're the last one killed, so we'll probably have to do that a couple of times. But all in all, it gives you a bunch more bosses that you can fight through and progress through. And it just adds a ton of fun, I think, because these bosses are great fun if you're building up new classes to test out your metal, see how you fare against some of these bosses. So the next step for us is going to be the Fallen Icon, and then we're going to have to fight the Wither in order to get the Shard of Uncertainty and defeat the Monarch of Chaos. So we've kind of been ignoring our skill tree for a little bit. It looks like I have essentially the ability to max it out at this point. I think what I'm going to do is use, like we said, we have the Malevolent Manuscript, and I'm going to reset my skills. And now I have the maximum amount of skills possible, and we're going to go into the Path of Initiate, like I originally said we'd probably remap into. So I'm going to fill this out. I'm going to grab Empower, I'm going to grab Attuned, I'm going to grab the Necromancer and my Lightning Rod, and then see what we have left. So after grabbing all my kind of minimum requirements, I have about 15 points left. which I'm going to dump at least some to get myself up to the 5% Frost and Soul Spell little nodes. And then I'm just going to grab spell damage along the way, wherever I can see it, because I really want to boost my Frosted Soul Spell power as much as possible. So the unfortunate thing about using the Manuscript is it shut down our Necromancer skill tree, and it resets it. But this is something where we're just accumulating skill points at a pretty decent clip, going back into the Nether, killing piglins, things like that. You'll get this stuff back pretty quickly. And then, now that we're maxed out here, this does unlock our Ascendancy Tree, which is, once we start getting skill points, this is where essentially we're focusing our skill points in kind of from here on out, as we no longer are going to have, we're no longer acquiring skills, we're completely maxed out in this tree. So the Ascendancy Tree gives you a whole lot of options. So I believe for now I'm going to actually go with Ghost Walk. I've never tried this yet. It looks like it scales with Soul Spell power. I'm really trying to go for this kind of like Frost Necromancer, like Death Knight kind of class feel. So I'm hesitant to go for something that, you know, Cataclysm, which is just doesn't feel like it's going to fit. So I'm going to give Ghost Walk a shot. If we hate it, we can always respect. Alright, so we need the Essence of Eventide, and then let's go take down this this next guy. One thing about the Fallen Icon is, similar to the Returning Knight, he has that the ability to break a whole bunch of blocks. Hopefully that wasn't one of our villagers. He has the ability to break a whole bunch of blocks near him, so we don't want to summon him too close to our base. You little piece of garbage. Actually, one thing I should do is get a couple of skill points before we fight this guy, so I can get my wraiths back, because those are pretty helpful in fighting him. So I'll do that off camera. Spawner isn't the best way to get skill points, as it seems to hit some kind of a cap on how quickly it can generate them. So you can get one from it rather quickly, but then I think you actually have to kill like different monster types. So I'm going to hit the spawner for a second, and then hit the Nether. If anything interesting happens, I'll let you know about it. So here I am out exploring in the Nether, and I found what looks to be another structure of some sort. So I'm not sure what this one is. I think it's one of the Nether versions of the pyramids, which have like little traps in them and things like that, but let's check it out. Yeah, so this is going to be like the Nether version of a pyramid, or a temple or whatever. We haven't done this in the overworld yet. Usually there's like little like traps inside. We could check it out. I don't think there's usually great loot in these things, but... So if you're doing these structures from like a top down, you start in this kind of open room here, and there's usually a staircase of some form. That's a trap. Most of the things in this room are going to be decorative, like for these little statues, but if you see them down below, sometimes they are traps and will shoot things at you. So let's go on in. So I like to check the back of these staircases. Sometimes there's a little chest in that area. That you're basically just moving through these corridors. Sometimes little niches like this have tripwires in them. It's kind of like almost a little bit maze-like. And there you go. So this is our first trap we find, and it's got, you know, little tripwire dispenser with poison arrows. Nothing crazy. Not a bad little chest, because it's got this spirit orb in this. The spirit orb, I don't think I've shown any of these on camera yet. You can collect these to increase your health at spirit altars. So, a good little find here. So this is the Nether Eye. This is actually one of the things we'll need to get to the end. So, not bad. Not a bad little find. So these are little puzzles. It looks like for everyone you turn on, it's going to turn the ones next to it off. So for example, if I turn this off, it'll turn that one on. Okay, so that seemingly put these campfires up. I'm not sure if that opened this as well, but let's go in here. This feels like a trap. Anyway, it's a cool little structure. The loot, I don't know, doesn't seem too impressive, but it's definitely one of those things that just adds flavor. Like I said, the Nether, the overworld, in this mod pack, there's just so much more flavor and just interesting things going on. You know, it makes it real fun to check all this little stuff out. So I just found this kind of like obsidian tower, and as I was walking past it, a piglin brute was attacking me, and I don't usually see them outside of bastions. And I realized it's got a piglin brute spawner inside of it. So it actually has a piglin brute spawner, and it had at least 4 pieces of ancient debris in here as well that I found so far. So I don't know if there's more, if it was kind of like around the spawner. But kind of a cool little find. Well, that's 3 wither skeleton skulls, so we'll definitely be able to use those to summon the wither. Slowly getting our abilities back. Respecking was not my brightest of ideas. I mean, overall, doesn't really make a huge difference, but probably shouldn't have done it right in the middle of an episode when I was trying to go fight the bosses. What was that? Ooh, crying obsidian. So crying obsidian is something you need to make a disenchanter, which I mean, we should probably talk about sooner rather than later, as it can be very useful. It sometimes if you find items that have good enchantments on them, but they're not an item you would want to use, it can be worth saving them and throwing them in the disenchanter. So that's something we'll probably cover in the near future. All right, probably not optimal. I'm gonna get ghost walk just because I want to see what it does. If I have to respec, I have to respec. My plan is immediately get out of this tree, go up through the max health, and then head over to like here where I can start getting frost spell damage and all spell damage. So here we go. I have to actually try that in combat. Alright, well I have my wither skulls. I'm gonna need those to make the wither, fight him. Can I just make the wither in here? It's probably a bad idea. Is that a bad idea? I mean, like, I feel like it's probably a bad idea. You know what? Oh, they're not gonna drop an ender pearl. Would have been really smart to think of this, but we can teleport. It's part of our origin ability. If you use an ender pearl, you can teleport. I don't think I've used our origin ability this entire series yet. I mean, shame on me. Wow. That is amazing. How I've not been using this the whole time I've been playing this is just beyond me. The cooldown is minimal. Oh my god, I'm so glad I picked this elf origin. I gotta remember what some of these other things do. That's the thing about this mod pack, is there's just so much going on. You can just, you know, it's so easy to forget about things, at least for me. The sounds coming from this aren't great. Oh, the black spiral. I believe you can get smithing templates in here. I don't 100% remember, but there's usually a bunch of enemies, so. Baby Blaze. lodestone. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna come back here. That's for sure. See what I mean about the Necromancer though? Like literally these guys just spawn and die from the different effects that we have. Good God. It's a Bastion as well. There it is. There's our smithing template. God, what luck. I just like don't usually have good luck like this. Usually I go like thousands of blocks without finding one of these things. Oh my God, it's awesome. It was right by my base though, or my portal the whole time. Here we go. Old Netherite. I don't actually know why I just did that. I really should have fully enchanted that first. I got excited. Alright, we were gonna fight. So let's go. Actually, we can make one thing that will help us in our fight first. So now that we've been in the Nether, if we get some glass, and we need some of this soil stuff, and what's the other thing we need? So we're gonna make diamonds, prismarine. Ooh, we might not. Do we have prismarine crystals? Ugh. Prismarine crystals, perfect. We're gonna make this little thing for our offhand. So just for a little comparison purposes, currently our frost spell power is 18 and our soul is 28. Once we equip this, soul goes up to 33 and frost is 24. So, oh, I'm sorry, soul goes up to 42 because it had to take a second for the soul shock stacks to add in. I mean, we're really starting to ramp up that power. And the other thing too is this diamond rune blade isn't optimized yet. We could upgrade that, I believe, to a netherite. Okay, so we kind of could choose between Eternium, which is from the end, or the ruby, which is from the nether. I actually think we'll upgrade to the netherite and then hold off until we go to the end, because I like the gray or I like this color a little bit better for my Death Knight's color scheme I'm going for. Anyway, let's go kill this icon guy. We'll just get a little ways away from our base so he doesn't damage anything. I built a whole arena for one of my videos where I was demoing all the different classes. Spent all this time building a whole arena, forgetting that this guy could damage all the blocks around him, similar to the Wither. Summoned him, destroyed the whole arena. And I just did the whole rest of the video with a broken arena. Oh well. And go. So let's just see the wraiths. I believe this guy has 2 phases though. Yep. Harbinger of Moonlight. And he inflicts darkness, which is very annoying. I mean, he was doing a lot of laughing for a guy who just got clapped. So you can see that guy actually went down easier than the returning knight, because we're just a ton more powerful at this point. And another Lord Soul, a little bit of Moonstone. Maybe it doesn't give you anything super crazy. What can I do with this thing? I don't even know. Do I summon the Wither here, or do I go underground? I'm gonna get a little further from my base. I feel like underground just makes the replay mod footage trash when you're trying to kill the Wither. But I also don't have a bow. I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? I really gotta get like one of the Frost or Lightning spellbooks if I need to swap out. Do a little hot swap for range damage. Oh, which is it? Soul Soil or Soul Sand? 50-50 chance to not look like an idiot. Oh, looking like an idiot. Oh, there it is. Oh boy. You gonna die. Where you going? Get back here. Get back here. Well, that guy is not very hard in this mod pack. Coin pouches are stupid. There it is. That's what I need. Shard of Uncertainty. I mean, the Nether Star is nice too, right? Alright, well, let's head back home, regroup, and see what I need to make this Blackstone pedestal. Fight this Monarch of Chaos guy. It's really a lot of work to get this Frostworm, just saying. Oh, the Wither Eye. So that's another one of the eyes we need for the end, so that's good. At some point we're going to really start focusing on collecting those. We might as well do some of this stuff now. So we got a heart container from the Wither, I believe, so we can use that to increase our total available hearts by 1. But one of the things we got this actually as a reward early on and just never really talked about it. So this paraglider's little statue thing, you can, the goddess statue, you can click on that, and if you have these spirit orbs, typically you find them sometimes in chests, but if you break spawners, you get a decent amount of these. You can increase your hearts as well. So we essentially have almost 2 full extra rows of hearts right now. Like, as you progress through this game and you get into the later game, if you're not rushing, like I said, you just become ridiculously overpowered. I think it's a ton of fun. Who doesn't want to be OP? So we'll use that netherite ingot to upgrade our rune blade. Alright, let's see what we need for this Shard of Uncertainty. Blackstone pedestal. 2 moonstone, 2 ender pearls, polished blackstone bricks, obsidian. Okay, I've never faced this guy, so wish me luck. Alright, well, here goes nothing. Well, I don't know what's going on right now. He seems to be immune to, like, physical damage or something. Ooh. Hi.
attacked and that hurt him. Okay. He was a bit tough for a minute there, but then he all of a sudden took a whole bunch of damage out of nowhere. I'm not really sure why. Another Lord Soul in the bag. Cape of Chaos. Equipped to wither all nearby grass and dirt blocks. Applies 2 seconds. Okay. Non-player entities. Okay. Well. Crown of Chaos. Equipped to gain immunity to decay, regeneration while decay, permanent luck. Hex. Okay. So now we can take all these things to make the Chaos Orb, which is how we fight the remaining 2 bosses. The one thing, all these cool items that this guy drops, you know, that a lot of these bosses drop, I'm probably never going to use any of them on a Necromancer because I'm specifically just stacking Frost spell power to get the most out of my Wraiths. But, super cool items. Alright. Throw it into the sky to summon the deities of night and day. Alright, here goes the last 2. Well, I don't know how I'm supposed to get those 2 dum-dums. Jesus. Alright, one of them's dead. Thank God for my minions, right? Wow. Soul Reaper, Scythe of the Forlorn. So I have to do every boss over again to resummon them and get the other Lord Soul I need. Yay. Alright, so that pretty much concludes the Soulslike boss mod. As you can see, we now have the entire... Well, I guess we still have to craft the Arcan Plate, but not super important. But we have all the bosses in this mod done. So it took 2 episodes to cover it, but we have all of the Souls-like bosses down. I am definitely going to farm out all these bosses until I get the other Lord Soul from the Night Prowler, or the Day Stalker, I guess. Actually, I'm gonna keep farming until I get that Lord Soul so I can craft Frostmourne, but probably won't do that all on camera. Okay, well, thank you for watching. I really appreciate the support and feedback that some of you have given me, and those of you who have subscribed in the last couple of months. You know, I'm about to hit 100 subscribers, and you know, I kind of told myself if I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to invest a little bit of money into making this channel a little bit better. My thoughts are either a microphone, as I know my sound quality kind of sucks, or maybe spend a little bit of money to get a subscription to some kind of service where I can get better music tracks, as right now I'm kind of just stuck using whatever YouTube and the video editing software that I have is available. So if anybody has any feedback on which one of those 2 things they think would help make these videos just that much a little bit better, or maybe you think something else entirely, just let me know in the comments. I think next week, or you know, next episode I should say, I don't want to bind myself to next week as it is Christmas. Next episode we'll go into chapter 3, which is going to be chapter 2.5, which is going to be the Mind Cells mod. So we kind of took 2 episodes to showcase the Souls-like bosses, Mine cells, I think we can get done in one episode, especially at the power level we're at here. I don't imagine it's going to give us too much of a problem. And we'll just keep progressing through. Thank you again for watching. Please, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. It just helps me know that to stay, is the good course to follow. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.
Can you like sew around the whole hotel and stuff? Can you like sew like since you're gonna put the scenery, can you sew like our numbers support this
What do you want to show them?
like our whole like platform like
Well, why don't you talk to them?
I didn't know you were wearing the headphones. Wait, am I gonna use the computer now? Like so. This is like the whole zoo, but it's not finished. Oh, skeleton riding a spider. Okay, so this is the panda area, and just down here is maybe something good. So this is like a downstairs. It's like a discipline area and a fireplace. This is like fish tanks, fish and and another fish tank. And this is like some stuff. It's trees and a road. Oh, and these are traffic cones and pits. And that's just like a staircase that I was trying to make. And those are cars. These are like the managers for a police station. And these are like all the jail people. Bye bye.